Good morning, and welcome to the daily devotion video here at Mount Calvary Lutheran Church for Tuesday, August 19th. My name is Vicar Zachary. Today we are taking a look at C.S. Lewis's book, The Screwtape Letters, letter 25, which has to deal with the dangers of novelty. Now, novelty is a pressure in our society because it forces us always to be exploring. Now, by itself, this is rarely actually a problem. It is good to explore, to try new foods, to explore creation, and to have new experiences. But there becomes a pressure to always be seeking these things out, to never be satisfied with what we have, and instead always be seeking the next newest thing. Now, boredom ends up being a threat to our Christian devotional lives because very often our devotional lives are repetitive. We wake up every morning and we have a daily devotion. We do Luther's morning prayer, then we go about our day. At the end of the week, we all file into church at our preordained times. We go through the same liturgy. Maybe we have a couple different hymns thrown in. Then we have readings that come from a 3 or 1 year cycle. And then we have a sermon based on one of those readings. All in all, these things can often get very repetitive, and they end up perhaps inspiring us to look elsewhere for our spiritual satisfaction. And this is a problem because the simple reality is that God is an unchanging God, and that these repetitive things in our lives are often very good for us to do. It is good for us to hear the same kind of sermon multiple times because we will always get something new out of it. But the devil and his tricks will make us be unsatisfied with these things. Unsatisfied with the same old food, unsatisfied with the same old prayers, unsatisfied with the same old sermons and the same old church. We've been doing this for time immemorial. As we look here in the words of Solomon in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verses 8 and 9 read like this: All things are full of weariness. A man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear fulfilled with hearing. What has been is what will be, and what has been done is what will be done. There is nothing new under the sun. Here in this section, we hear Solomon crying out because he's realized that the world can be boring, that his eyes are not satisfied with seeing and his ears are not satisfied with hearing. And this is driving him away from the Lord. And it does the same things for us. We often don't think about it, though, that simply we seek out a new restaurant or a new movie, and all of it to avoid this boredom. And maybe, just maybe, we take that hour that we were going to put towards daily devotion and we use it to watch a new video on YouTube, because that's a bit less boring. And we don't think about it as a sin at the time. We're just doing what comes naturally. But looking back, how many times have we had the opportunity to worship our God better, to study His Word a little closer, that we don't take because we're seeking out to constantly be scratching this itch that never seems to go away? In Philippians 4, we get this: I rejoiced in the Lord greatly now at length that you have revived your concern for me, that you were indeed concerned for me, but you had no opportunity. Not that I am speaking of being in need. I have learned that whatever situation, I am to be content. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned that the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need, I can do all things through him who strengthens me. You see, Paul gives us a way to deal with this boredom. Instead of trying to find the ways to avoid the itch or to scratch it, instead we call out to God. Because while God is an unchanging God, His Word is alive and active. His Word meets us where we are and gives us what we need. And so while the sermons may appear repetitive, and the daily devotions may seem to drone on, if we really look at them closer, it is God still speaking into each and every moment of our lives. So we call out to him. We pray, Lord, please help us to resist the temptations of boredom and help us to resist the constant drive to seek out the next new thing. We do this not on the grounds of Puritan elitism, but rather that the Puritan values of focusing on what God has given us and being content with that is a good way to live our lives. I want to thank you so much for joining me this morning for this daily devotion video. I hope that the Lord is able to help you to face off against the danger and sin of being bored and avoiding devotion and his gifts to us. I hope that I see you all again tomorrow.